What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, guys. Welcome back to the Football Overseas YouTube channel, and welcome, guys, to game week 5 of the Serie A predictions, guys. There's a lot of good games this weekend. I'm definitely looking forward to, and I'll definitely be keeping my eye on, guys. But listen, guys, before we get started, remember, guys, like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, guys, and listen, man, it's gonna be an amazing week this week in this Serie A. There's a lot of tasty games that are gonna be coming on this season, so make sure you guys stay tuned and listen. Give me your predictions, guys, on the comments below. But the games will start this Friday with Cagliari against Empoli. Cagliari, guys, are not nice to watch. Not by the slightest. They have been awful. They were absolutely destroyed in their last game. And compare that to Empoli, who got an amazing draw against Juventus. Like, I have to say this. Like, they have been so good this season. They have been so impressive. They had a lot of draws, but also they got the win against Roma away, which is a very good draw for them. So I'm looking at both teams' forms, and even though Cagliari are at home, I just don't really back them. I'm going to go for it, and I'm gonna say that Empoli are gonna win away. So it's gonna be Cagliari 1, Empoli 0. So next up, guys, on the games tomorrow, we have Hellas Verona against Torino. Now I have to be very blunt with all of you guys. Hellas Verona, they started the season well with that win against Napoli. They got a win against Genoa the week before, but unfortunately they did lose to Lazio, like I said they would. So, and compare that to Torino, who have had an amazing start to the season, but they surprisingly were held at home against Lecce. So it's a very interesting game. However, I still do believe that, unfortunately for Hellas Verona, I think the Torino's form is just too good, and I'm actually gonna go for a draw this time. In fact, I was gonna go for a Torino win, but I've decided to change my mind. I believe that Torino will probably take the lead, but I think that Hellas Verona will come back and it will end in a 1-1 draw. And then we head to Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, and we're starting Saturday games with Venezia versus Genoa. Now, Venezia, guys, have not had a good season. I think they're gonna go down. Unfortunately, they were absolutely destroyed by Milan in their last game. Very poor. They have been very hard to watch. I really feel bad for their fans. Really, they need to start improving now. And Genoa, to be fair to them, got a very impressive draw against Roma. It was a very impressive draw. Obviously, they lost their last game before that against Hellas Verona at home, but they got a good draw, like I said, against Roma. So they're playing Venezia this week. Can Venezia finally get their first win of the season? It's very interesting, really, because I think, unfortunately for Venezia, it's not gonna come this week. So I'm actually gonna go Venezia 1, Genoa 2. I think Genoa are gonna win by 2-1 in their game tomorrow. Now, this is the game of Saturday. The game that everyone is looking forward to on Saturday. Juventus versus Napoli. Juventus, 5-star performances so far. 0 goals conceded in the league. Absolutely impressive. Thiago Motta has been cooking so far this season. No problems with their team right now. They're currently playing against a Napoli team who are beginning to get on their feet under Antonio Conte. Obviously, they started the season very poorly, but listen, Lukaku is in the team now. They've basically won every game, I think, ever since that game against Hellas Verona. So they got an impressive win away against Cagliari. Can they get another impressive win against Juventus? Now, this is going to be a very good game. I'm definitely going to watch this game because you're watching two teams who are currently two of the most informed teams in the league right now, playing some of their best football. Now, but however, I did mention this. Juventus got 2 draws in 2 games. They got a draw at home against Roma and they got a draw away against Empoli. So this is what is important. Even though they are defensively very good and they're still yet to lose, they have not really been scoring a lot of goals so far. I know they won 3-1 yesterday in the Champions League against PSV, but how far can they continue with this form? Can they finally get up and finally step up this season and actually try and get a goal? Because they haven't gotten a goal in the last 2 games and they're playing against a free scoring Napoli team. Interestingly, I still do believe in Juventus. I am going to go Juventus 1, Napoli 0. I think that Napoli are going to unfortunately lose this game, and Conte is going to go back to Juventus. Unfortunately, I don't see them winning. So I think that Juventus will get the win. And then finally, for the games on Saturday, we concluded with Lecce against Parma. Now, Lecce in their last 2 games have gotten a win and a draw. Very impressive draw in their last game against Torino. Like I said, Torino are one of the most informed teams in the league, and they still got a draw against them, which is very, very, very impressive. And they're playing against a Parma team who I predicted them to get a surprise win against Udinese. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them. They did end up losing that game 3-2, and it was actually a good game. It was a very, 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 very good game. But here they go again. They're playing against Lecce at home. Now, like I said, Lecce drew their last game against Torino. They got their last home win was against Cagliari, and it was another win. What can they do against Parma? Can Parma maybe, get their confidence back and win their game against Lecce? I think this game is going to end in a draw. I think it's going to end in a draw. I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1 for this game. And now we go to Sunday. And ladies and gentlemen, Sunday's games are so good. So good. We're looking forward to so many games this weekend. We're definitely going to conclude it with the one that everyone is looking at for the Sunday game. But we will start the Sunday games against Fiorentina play Lazio. Fiorentina, awful. That's the only word I can use to describe them. Awful. They have been so bad to watch. They lost. They drew every single game that they played until their last game against Atalanta, where guess what? I think I predicted them to draw, and they lost 3-2. And you look at the other side, Lazio in the last 2 games have played Milan and Hellas Verona, and they got a good win against Hellas Verona, and they got a good draw against AC Milan. Now, as far as the Fiorentina is concerned, they need to figure it out. They need to figure it out, and they need to figure it out soon, because they are really sinking right now. They're still yet to win a game. Can they get their first win against Lazio? Lazio away have not been good. Going away, they've been very, very poor. So I'm looking at it and I'm saying, should I go for it? This is probably going to be the surprise, my surprise, basically the surprise of the week. I think that Fiorentina might get their first win this week. I'm going Fiorentina 2, Lazio 1. That is my prediction. That is my surprise of the weekend. And next up, we have AZ Motta against Genoa. 2 teams who are currently having 2 awful seasons. One, Motta is 15th. Bologna, who finished top 4 last season, are currently 17th. And both teams are still yet to win a game. First of all, I need to give credit to Motta, because I predicted them to be destroyed last week against Inter Milan. And you know what? They got a draw. Amazing, amazing draw at home. Can they get a win against Genoa, who, from the looks of it, are not, they clearly are missing Xerxes. They're definitely missing him. They're missing Calafiori on defense. Like, that team is basically very, very poor right now. However, this is going to be a very interesting game, because Genoa need to really wake up. Can they wake up in the game against Monza? I'm going to actually go out of my way. I'm going to say, unfortunately not. I think that Monza are going to win. I'm going to go Monza winning 1-0 against Genoa. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say Genoa are going to lose 1-0 to Monza. And then we go to the third game of the Sunday games, which is Roma against Udinese. First of all, let's get it out of the way. De Rossi has been sacked. Now, I remember when they hired him, I did not understand why they hired him. Made zero sense. But at the end of the day now, he's gone. And listen, they got a good draw last week against Genoa away. And Udinese, like I said, have continued their good start to the season. They won 3-2 in their last game against Parma. They won away to Parma. So that was a very, very important, impressive away win. What can they do against Roma? Because Roma have not been good so far this season. Can they get the manager bounce? Could we see a manager bounce this week? Because they need to win. First of all, that's what we need to call out. They need to win. Their last 4 games have been draw, loss, draw, and draw. That has been their last 4 games. They need to win, and they need to win soon. Because at the end of the day, they are falling off. And they're playing against an informed Udinese team. Can they get the win against Udinese? I don't think so. I'm gonna go for a draw. I'm gonna say 1-1 in that game. So yeah, I'm gonna go Roma 1, Udinese 1. Now, finally, guys. Finally, we are in the main event, the one that everyone is looking forward to this weekend, the Milan Derby. It is Inter Milan versus AC Milan. And let me just get started by saying this is one of my favorite derbies in world football. Still is. Like there's always goals, there's always drama in these games. Now, both teams coming into their form, obviously neither team won this week. Inter drew away to Monza. They drew against City, which was an impressive draw. AC Milan beat Venezia, but I expected them to beat Venezia. Predicted them to beat Venezia last week, and predictably they lost to Liverpool in the Champions League. And because of that, unfortunately, if you look at the form that AC Milan have been in the league, awful. I know they won their last game convincingly, but Pablo Fonseca has been awful to watch. Leao has been awful to watch. Theo Hernandez, awful to watch. Their team, they need to wake up, and they need to wake up soon. That team need to wake up. They really do. And I'm looking at that, and I'm looking at Inter Milan in the form that they're in the league. And honestly, I only see one winner. I'm going to go out of my way. I'm going to say AC Milan are going to lose. I'm going to go Inter Milan 2, AC Milan 0. That is my predictions for game week 5, ladies and gentlemen, in the Serie A. It's going to be an amazing weekend, guys. I'm definitely looking forward to watching the games because there's a lot of good games coming up this weekend, guys. Listen, like I said, guys, like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Make sure you guys comment what your predictions are on the comments below. So remember, like the video, subscribe, and peace, you guys. Take care.